welcome to this week's review, Rough Cut with Kaveree Bamzai. That's me. Wow. What a declaration. Let me tell you about Batwara 1947 this week. It's been directed by Rajkumar Santoshi, vintage 1980s, 90s director. And as we all know, uses a hammer blow where a soft nudge or a little glance would do. He doesn't believe in subtlety. And in his actor, his main star, Sunny Deol, he has an actor who has no volume control and acts as much with his fists as he does with his eyes. So you would imagine that this is something that is stuck in the 1980s and doesn't deserve to be seen. You're wrong, because the heart of Batwara 1947 is really in the right place. And there's a lot to be said for that in this day and age, where there's so much divisiveness and so much polarization. Why do I say so? And of course, we've had Main Wapas Aunga, which almost seems like a little prelude to Batwara 1947, but of course, much better made, I have to say. Imtiaz Ali has a lot more finesse. But why do I say Batwara 1947 is an important film to be watched? One, because it says what we all really believe in, that there may have been a partition of and a border in 1947, but our souls remain attached at the hip, and that's exactly what you get here. There is the belief that the mother, the Ma, is above all religions, all faiths, all divisions. There is the belief that all religions really are different ways to reach the same. Um, you know, whether you chant the name of Allah or you chant the name of Ram. And there is a certain belief in the idea of India as we know it, and as we are now seeing a resurgence of that celebration on the streets out of desperation, of course. I mean, you have young people who have been let down so badly, but you see that they believe in an idea of India which resonates with them. And the theme of Batwara 1947 will also resonate with them. How does it begin? It's Sikandar Mirza. There's played by Sunny Deol, who has a nice, good life in Meerut, runs a factory, and has no intention of leaving Meerut, although all around him fires are burning. This is 1947, of course. And he's told repeatedly by members of his own faith that this is not going to be a country that welcomes Muslims anymore. But he, of course, does not believe that until it's too late and his house is burned down and he has to flee in the middle of the night. And like all refugees, thinking that they're going to come back to their home, whether it's 1947 or 1990 in Kashmir. And they leave with whatever they have, and we've seen these scenes before of violence, of bloodthirsty mobs crowding trains and killing people trying to flee to another country purely because they have no choice and they're so scared. But there is a certain power in watching these again. And uh, Mirza tries to set up a new life in Lahore, and he gets allotted a new home, which is, of course, the home of a Hindu who had to leave suddenly, Durga Nivas. And that is where this becomes somewhat very interesting. It's there's an old lady there played by Shabana Azmi, brilliantly as always, who refuses to leave because her son had left, promising that he would return, and she's convinced that he will. And she lives in the upper part of the house. It's a huge mansion. And when Mirza and his family come, she says, you can stay here, but I refuse to leave. And she performs her rituals. She says her prayers just as Mirza's family says their prayers. And you would think that things would be okay, but there's, of course, the neighborhood that gets agitated about this Hindu woman staying on in this locality, and uh, it's left to Abhimanyu Singh, who was such a delight in Adarsh Bal Vidyalay, playing a sort of mustache twirling a villain, and with bloodshot blue eyes. I mean, you can't get more stereotypical than this. A man who refuses to let Mirza live in quiet acceptance with this Hindu grandmother. So, of course, there will be escalation, there will be violence, and truly there is. But there's also the small matter of Sunny Deol's son, who goes over to the dark side before, of course, redeeming himself, because he is Sunny Deol's son, and he has to utter the "Ghus ke marenge" line, because he has to take the legacy forward. There's also a wonderful cameo by Ali Fazal, who plays this sort of ghostly apparition of a sort of faith and a humanity that has been forgotten in all this noise and this violence. And he's a poet who's lost his beloved. And of course, spoiler alert, not to a Hindu mob, but a Muslim mob. And he is the voice of sanity, and he is the voice of love, and the voice of kindness. And he is a small but a very powerful cameo, and he plays it beautifully. um what else can I say? It's there is, of course, a denouement, and if there is a dry eye in the audience, then I think there's something seriously wrong with the hearts of our audience. They uh, it's a beautiful and very sad closure to the film. I can't spoil it so much, so I can't tell you exactly what it is, but suffice to say that it is one where the two faiths come face to face and meet each other. So, should you watch Batwara 1947? You should, if only to have your eardrums pierced by the great Sunny Deol. But there is a certain joy watching him on screen, and it's a smart move by Aamir Khan, who's produced the film, to not act in it himself, because there is something in Sunny Deol's physicality and his being with us and being Dharmendra's son that gives it a certain power. And he doesn't identify as Hindu or Muslim, and because of that also he lends a certain dignity and a gravitas to the role. So, as I said, should you watch it? Yes, not only for Sunny Deol's "Dhai Kilo Ka Haath" and piercing voice, but also for Ali Fazal, for Shabana Azmi, in somewhat overacted, but it's all right. I mean, it's nothing compared to Nasiruddin Shah's role in Main Wapas Aaunga. And of course, there's a certain theatrical quality to the movie, which is a result of the fact that it's based on Asghar Wajahat's play, Jisne Lahore Na Dekhya. And everything is set is on sets, and everything feels very claustrophobic. Even the streets are all sets. Even the outdoor scenes are all sets. But having said all that, it's good to see Rajkumar Santoshi back doing what he does best, making cinema that belongs to another era, which we may have forgotten, and we have forgotten, but it's time to remember that. So, thank you so much for watching, and see you next week. Happy Independence Day.